So I went to Sydney and Melbourne, and I stayed with them for about a week or two. Yeah. They were still small then. That was 2000, so that's like 18 years ago. Anyway, I had a good time while I was there. Anyway, Belinda had made contact with me in 2013 because she does singing. She sings R&B and jazz and all that kind of stuff. Really good entertainer. Very talented. And I asked her to send me a couple of copies of her singing. Show me what kind of work she does, you know. Anyway, now there was a guy named Nick, white guy from FMG. He also used to sell rock. He used to live up in Morley. I saw him a couple of times. He used to drive a nice black Commodore, 6 litre or something. Hey, nice powerful cab, man. I used to catch up with him, jump in the car, we'd go for a drive, smoke a bit of rock and go for a drive in his car, man. We used to have a good time, man. Cool dude. Nick, his name was. Now the Irish fellow I was telling about, John, that used to have steroids there at FMG. Now, he used to sell the steroids. He also got rock. He also sells rock. Now, these are just people I know that I met through work. I don't know them because of rock. I know them from work as friends. But they dabble in rock and that kind of shit, so. Anyway, Rachel Capewell contacted me on my birthday. She's a girl used to know from school. So we had a chat. She was telling me about her life and stuff, and her son. She's got a son, blah blah blah. She's going to work. She's thinking of going to uni and stuff. I caught up with Renee Cooper. Renee Cooper is one of my old girlfriends. One of my first girlfriends, actually, from high school. Like when I was 16 or so. Yeah. Renee Cooper, me and her, she came to pick me up. We went to the hospital because her sister's daughter was in hospital. She's on dialysis because her kidneys and liver are not functioning up to standard because she drinks a lot. So I went with Renee to the hospital. We sat there. Elisa went on dialysis. That's her niece. Then we finished that up and then we came back home. I went with Renee, we dropped Lisa off in Dorney. She lived at a house in Dorney. The house she lived at used to be a house where I think Angie O'Sullivan used to stay at one time. Or Noreen Bennett, one of them. It's next to a park. So we dropped her off, then we went to pick up Renee's kids from school. We were sitting around the primary school for ages. I went to use the toilet inside the primary school. I asked them, where's the toilet around there? So I just went to use the little boys' toilet. I met kids, Jacinta and Jake. Really cool kids, beautiful kids. I took a photo with Jacinta and I posted it on Facebook and said, this is the daughter I never had, you know. Really good kids. It was good catching up with Renee Cooper. Anyways, getting on with the story. I worked with Marandu with Transfield. And also in Port Hedland, and my supervisor was Tom Brown. Tom Brown was a cool guy. He said he used to have a water truck on Gorgon Island, the Gorgon project. He said he had a water truck there. He invested in buying a water truck and it runs around the site all day, so he'd be making good money. Yeah. While I was away at work, somebody broke into my caravan in Mandurah. I used to live at the Belvedere Caravan Park. They stole all my FMG safety gear. Under my bed there was a compartment and it had, I stashed my big bag of safety gear there from FMG. It was all like top-notch safety gear. Big bomber jackets, welding spats, boots, glasses, you know, polarized. All top-notch safety gear. I was just keeping it for my future, sometime for work. Yeah, they broke into my caravan, they stole that, they stole all this other stuff from my caravan, all this beauty products that I had bought, cost me $500. So they stole quite a bit of stuff. They only stole the good stuff, expensive stuff. Anyway, when I came back and I spoke to the caravan park manager, there was an Aboriginal lady and a guy that used to stay 2 caravans down. And he said when they moved out, he found one of my creams, because I've got pemphigus vulgaris, autoimmune disorder. I used to use steroid cream to rub on my body. He said he found one of them in the caravan 2 doors down where the Aboriginal lady was staying, because it's got my name on it, the cream. So the only way they could have got that was from my caravan. So I was under the notion that they had broken into my caravan. And I got a phone number off him, but I never ended up calling it. Life just went on and things were going on in my life. Anyway, carrying on. I had a rant on Facebook about the ANZ Bank in Cannington, because I went there one day and I dealt with a young guy, a white guy. I can't remember his name. He said to me, we closed your one account because your account conduct was no good. And I was quite pissed off. I said, you can't close my account without my permission. And I said, why? He's like, well, your account conduct is no good, mate. And I said to him, mate, it's got nothing to do with my account conduct. I've been banking with you guys for the last 10 years or more. You can't just close my account because I'm not putting money in it. You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that? He was treating me very rudely for being a loyal customer for that time, for so long. I felt a little betrayed by him. So I said to him, look, mate, well, why don't you take those accounts that I have left with you, close them, because I don't want to bank with you anymore. I'm going to piss off and bank somewhere else. You won't get my money anymore. So I had a big rant and rave on Facebook about that. Yeah, okay. And then I changed banks. I went from ANZ to Commonwealth. I didn't know that at this time my wife, Mervy, actually worked at the ANZ Bank. I didn't know that. So, okay, carrying on with the story. Now, around this time, during this year, I was in the kitchen with my mum, and a lady came knocking at the door. And I answered it, and she said, hello, are you Byron Allan? I said, yes, and she's like, oh, thank you. Can you sign this? Now, it was a request for Hailey asking me to go to court. You know what I'm saying? To decipher paternity of Lorenzo, which we've already done through Silly-Base. But now Silly-Base is not a recognized Australian government standard company to determine paternity of the child. No, it is well, they determine pathology of the child. Okay, let me do that again. Now, Silly-Base won't be accepted by a government department like child support, because they're not recognized through child support. They have to go, Hailey has to go through some recognized company for Lorenzo to be recognized as my son for child support through a certain company, and Silly-Base is not one of them. So now she sent me a summons to go to court, and I'm like, well, I feel a little offended. That seems a bit rude, because last time we spoke about going to lunch so we can work out what to do with Lorenzo. Just me play a part in his life as a father and child support, or give him money when I go away to work. I'll give him money, give you money. So now I'm feeling a bit put off and offended that she's taking me to court, because we haven't had an argument. We're not enemies. We haven't spoken since that last time that she cancelled our date. So now, I got a few of these letters this year. Huh? I've got them all, yeah. Anyway, carrying on. I'll stick on the Hailey thing for a while. No, I'll tell you about that later. So she's summoning me to court. I didn't go to court, because this whole time Hailey knows where I live. She's got my phone number. We've spoken on the phone. So there's no reason why she couldn't have contacted me and said, hey babe, look, I don't have to work now, we can catch up for a lunch date or something and do something about Lorenzo. And you playing a role of a father in his life. Anyway. Okay, carrying on. Okay, I was moving out of my caravan. I was coming to stay at my mum's house pretty much permanently. She said to me, why don't you sell the caravan, blah, 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 come stay with her over there. And then Rudy was coming over in 2013 towards the end of it as well. He came down. I think it was around about July, August, September 2013. I moved my stuff from the caravan, all out of the caravan. I was moving out. I went and put it in storage in Belmont. Byron gave me a hand. And that same day, we called up Craig and we got a bag of rock off him, me and Byron. He met us there in Belmont. And we had a smoke and all that. Anyway, Rudy came down from Sydney to stay with Mum and myself. I took him out one day. He met Nick, the guy from FMG that sells rock. We were just catching up for a bit. Anyway, Rudy met him, told him that he'd just come out of jail and stuff. And we met him at Morley markets. Yeah, because in 2013, Mick started meeting me at Morley markets. Before that, I used to meet him just down the road from his house and stuff. And we used to go for a drive. Then he started meeting me at Morley markets. Anyway, while Rudy was down, we caught up with Chanel and Chanel's boyfriend, some Aboriginal guy. And one time we went to Chanel's house in somewhere around Huntingdale. Just shooting the breeze with them. They were all dabbling and drinking and that stuff, so we were all just hanging out. Okay, then I was going back to now one night. Yeah, me, Noel and Rudy and Ken, the guy two doors down from my friend's house, we went out to Pot Black. And Rudy was acting up this night, he was a bit drunk. Anyway, we went to Pot Black, had a good time there. We came back to Brownlee Towers, dropped Ken off. Then me, Rudy and Noel went to Cheers in Vic Park, Cheers Bar. It's now called a Vic Park Hotel. We were standing there for a while and Rudy was acting strange. It looks like he was really angry, like he wanted to fight with somebody, you know. It looked like something was bugging him. Anyway, nothing else was open. So we came back to the towers, parked the car in the underground car park, and Rudy was acting like a big kid this time. He's sitting in the back going, screaming and carried on for himself, you know. And he didn't want to get out of the car, so I was waiting for him to get out of the car. Finally got him out of the car, and then me and him were walking towards the security gate. Noel, my mother's husband, ex-SAS soldier, he was at the security gate waiting for us. I was walking up with Rudy after Rudy was carrying on, and Rudy turned back. And it looks like he thought I said something to him, you know. He's acting like I'm talking shit to him. It looks like when he turned around and looked at me, he looked at me like that. And it looks like that he thought that I said something to him. And I said, what kind? He said, what's wrong with you? And he went to like, pretend he's going to hit me with a punch, you know. And I'm just looking at him like, what kind with you? He said, what's wrong? And then he walked off to the security gate where Noel was, and then he pushed Noel over, and Noel fell over and hit the ground. Hey, and this time I was so pissed off with Rudy. Hey, I went and I grabbed him and I gave him a few you know what I'm saying? Because I was mad. I thought Noel had fallen over, hit his head on the concrete and passed out, you know. So when I saw that, I got really pissed off, and I went to Rudy, I grabbed him, and he started fighting with me. Hey, I gave him a few, grabbed him, fucking banged him into the concrete, fucking gave him a couple, his nose was bleeding, this and that. He ended up running away. It's the first time I've ever hit my brother. He had just done it, he had just crossed the line, you know what I'm saying? He's done it to me before a few times, and I've never ever retaliated, but this time, when I saw that he injured somebody else, that was crossing the line for me, so I had to step in and do something. So I gave, you know what I'm saying? I've never done it before. I could never hit my brothers, you know what I'm saying? But he's crossed the line one too many times. So anyway, he ran off that night. I went to look for him, but I couldn't find him. So that was one night. So anyway, there's another night now. I'm trying to sleep because I got to go to work. Hey, Rudy and my mum are both drinking there now. Fucking carrying on for themselves. Hey, it's loud. I'm trying to sleep. I got to go to work. I just hear, next minute my mum's screaming. Hey, I walk outside. There's fucking Rudy's got a knife. My mum's on the couch. She's like this. Fucking Rudy's got a knife. I fucking walk in. He's standing there looking at me. And I thought to myself, fuck, are you thinking of stabbing me or something? He said, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I was so mad with them. I wanted to hit them both. I wanted to clap them both, man. Hey, they are pissing me off. Hey, I went back to bed. I left them there. Hey, stop your crap. I went back to bed. They carried on. They said I had to come out again. I came out again. Rudy and my mother, both of them, acting like bloody kids. He's got a knife there. Hey, he said, put that shit down. He said, stop carrying on like this now. So anyway, I was going to work. I said to Rudy, I told him how to handle my mother. I've spent many years drinking with my mother, alcohol. I know my mother very well. I can pretty much guess what conversations we're going to talk about when we sit together drinking. I told Rudy how to handle it because Rudy now hasn't spent as much time as me drinking with my mother. When I used to stay with my mother in Rockingham, I used to leave the house. I used to run away from her. Plenty of times because of the way she used to treat me when she was drunk. Always talking and degrading my brothers, my sisters and my dad. And she used to get so riled up. I used to leave the house, jump in my car and piss off. So I told Rudy how to handle her because they both like to argue and debate. They're both the same. And when they argue or debate, none of them are wrong. They always know better. I went to work. A couple of days later, I get a phone call. Fucking Rudy's beat up my mother. Shame. Beat her, her face was all smashed. My hand was all sore and stuff. So I left them alone there. Noel was going to work. I was going to work. There was no one there to help him. Rudy was spending time with Ken, a couple of doors down. They all drinking and get up to shit there all the time. So when Rudy came back from their house to my mother's house, he snapped. Something happened there. They would have been arguing. My mother crossed the line, he crossed the line, and that's what's the result. He ended up beating my mother up. Anyway, came back from work. My mother went to hospital. Now, if my mother went to hospital, I went to see her once or twice. So that happened. Now Rudy's in jail. He just came out of jail last year, 2017, July or August. 4 years. 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17. 4 years. I'll tell you about the story later. Now me, I'm living my own life. I'm staying there. So I went to the sex shop in Bentley, the plaza. I went to buy some sex games, some chocolate, some lubrication. I bought a dildo because I'm planning to spend some time with a woman. You know what I'm saying, in my life. I'm a single guy, so I thought I'd have a bit of fun in my life. Everyone else is carrying on for themselves. So I bought a dildo, some sex games, sex toys, whatever. You know, with the intention of having some fun. I still got the dildo. I've never ever used it, fucking. But anyway, we'll get to that story later. So anyway, I worked for another company named Toll and Flex Force. Toll and Flex Force in Port Hedland and Newman. And I met a guy named Geoff Keough. He's a little bit of a musician maestro. Nice guy. I see him on Facebook and that, but we don't talk anymore. There was a couple of guys in my crew there, Luke, Jeff, Stan. Yeah, I'll tell you about the actual jobs in a different story. So anyway, Yeah, James. James was my supervisor for toll. Now he had a big beard, he was a small fella. He said to me one time, his missus said to him he mustn't shave his beard off. Because when he shaves his beard off, he looks like a little boy, and people think she's walking around with a little boy, because he's a short guy too. And anyway, with the other company in Newman I was working, there was a guy named Beaker. He done an adult apprenticeship. And I got him to tighten up, he got me to hold a bolt for him. That he was going to go up underneath the grid mesh and tighten the bolt up. So I'm holding the bolt, and I was holding the bolt for about 10 minutes. And I finally said to him, mate, have you tightened that bolt up yet? Oh, no. I said to him, are you tightening it the right way? Are you turning it the right way? Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty, mate. He's like, oh, yeah, nah. He was turning it the wrong way, apparently. I thought he was turning it the wrong way. That's what he said to me. I thought, man, you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, there was another big guy I worked with there. And he couldn't wear a harness because he was too big. So I thought to myself, well, when you go places to work, you'd have to get your own harness that fits you. You know what I'm saying? Because if people need someone to wear a harness and work in a confined space or work at heights, then they're going to need you as part of the team, you know. So you need to man up and get your own harness that fits you. Get one custom made or something. So when you go to work, you don't put any of the work team out. Anyway, another one of my jobs was writing numbers on the conveyor mounts, all up along the conveyor up to the stockpile. We had to number them from the beginning to the end. Yeah. There's a lot of walking. I was working under the crusher a lot, so there was a lot of noise. I was doing handrails, done a few handrails there.